Hello, I'm Lowell Martin, and this is MCC Today. Insert funny line here. On today's show, we have Dr. Huebner and Brandi Pickett. We have a lot of really good information for you. Stay tuned.
Find your wings. It's more than just a hashtag.
It's the power of knowledge in our state-of-the-art classrooms.
It's skills training for a competitive job market.
It's the best nursing program in the state.
It's home runs, buzzer beaters, and the thrill of victory.
And MCC walks it off.
It's not just a hashtag. How do I know? Because I found my wings.
And we have the wonderful Miss Brandi Pickett. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Everything going well?
Yes, sir. It's going well.
I appreciate you being here. Now, your official title here at Meridian Community College is?
I'm the Wellness Coordinator and Instructor for the Science, Wellness, and Fitness Division.
Well, it always surprised me that science, wellness, and fitness were kind of in one division.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, when you get into the nuts and bolts of it, it really does make sense.
Yes, it does.
You know, but you're part of the wellness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what does that encompass?
So I am over like our activity classes, those are the workout classes, and also the lecture classes that we have that are face-to-face and online. So we try to get as many students as we can to enroll in those classes as for credit, and also in the community as well, because those activity classes, the community can enroll in those workout classes as well.
Every time I talk to students, I always recommend doing 1 to 2 activity classes. And I say, if you need stress relief, you need to work out, it'll help you, it benefits you. Put it on your schedule so that, and I always recommend doing 2, because you'll have one class Monday, Wednesday, and one class Tuesday, Thursday.
Exactly.
So you've got that 45 minutes or whatever that you know you're going to be doing something, and it's in your schedule.
Yeah. I wish everybody would do that,
I did it when I came here 1.5 million years ago. But I did. I remember taking tennis, and I'd never picked up a racket, nothing.
But it's great though, wasn't it? Something that you found, hey, this is something new. I enjoy this, and I wish more people would do that too.
Well, I tell people, especially in programs like the nursing program, PTA program, I'm like, look, you're going to need something.
Yeah, some stress reliever for sure. Yeah.
And I promise you this will help you. And they have invariably come back and said, yes, it did help me.
Great.
Thank you so much for recommending that. And it's part of you get credit hours for it that goes toward graduation. Come on.
As electives, so you can just add that on, and it can help with GPA, because if if you're there all the time and participate, then you can get an A in the class, and then that'll help GPA. So.
Do you have as many classes in the summer?
No. Normally not workout classes, just because not as many students are on campus, and instructors being able to teach those classes. We don't have as many that are willing to be here during the summer to teach. So we do have a yoga class this summer, and it's around lunchtime from 12:30 to 1:25. And then we also have a bar class that's going to be around the same time, lunchtime from 12:30 to 1:25, just to kind of get those people that are in the community around here that could come and take that class during maybe their lunchtime if they wanted to. So those are on opposite days. And then we also have a swimming class for anybody who has from not knowing how to swim at all to advanced swimmers, and that's at 1 o'clock on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then we have our water aerobics classes as well, and we have several of those throughout the summer. So that's our main core classes that we're going to have, our activity classes during the summer, and then we'll offer some online lecture classes like first aid CPR, personal community health, health concepts, recreation, and some of those courses that we offer during the semester as well.
And many of those classes are actually prerequisites for quite a few of the programs that we offer here at MCC.
Yes,
Am I
some of them,
correct in
yes,
that?
yes. As far as like the health classes, some of those, like health or personal community health, that one's a huge one that transfers also into other programs, into four-year university. And also the first aid CPR, prevention of injuries, those types of classes will, are classes that are required for certain majors, so that's good.
And also, you think about it, like if you're planning to go into education to be a teacher, that would be a wonderful class to know. And as I said, I know that I believe nursing requires it. I believe PTA requires it. I'm not 100% sure, but that would be something that could be quite beneficial to you long term, whether you need it technically or not.
Yeah.
But to say, hey, I'm qualified, I know I've taken this class, I know what to do, could be a big perk.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a great thing too, just for your personal knowledge, especially about health, just knowing personal knowledge about health, how to keep yourself healthy, your family healthy, especially first generation students who may not have ever learned, how to look at nutrition type nutrition labels, things like that, and what's good for you and what's not. Also, first aid CPR, I tell my students all the time, this book is a great resource. Keep it on your shelf. Go back to it. I mean, it talks about snake bites and bee stings and what to do with those things, and like Mythbusters that we talk about. So there's different things that are, that you can learn. And when I first started teaching, it's some things I learned. I was like, I'm glad I learned this because, I'm outside a lot, out in the country. So, it's good to know. So it's great things, great knowledge. So it's not just for
some of
the
the
major
things my grandmother used to tell me, and I came to college and I'm like,
yeah.
that wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
But some things you hear about, and I guess sometimes if you hear them enough, you start thinking there's something to it, and then you find out.
The home remedies.
Some of the home and just to give an example, she used to say about if somebody was burned, to put butter on it.
Oh, yeah.
And then my other grandmother always said no, ice. You put something cold to get the heat out, and butter just insulated and made it sometimes worse. I never told her
Yes.
that wasn't what she said.
So you learned something in your first aid CPR class, didn't you?
I did. But it's just, like I said, you get these things that people have heard and they think this is true and they try to do it, and it just adds a little bit to the injury.
I get that every year. Students are like, man, I learned so much.
And that's what we do.
Yeah.
How long have you been wellness coordinator?
9 years. I just finished year 9.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And does it feel like you've been here 9 years?
No, it doesn't. And I'm like, okay, when is this newness running? I mean, when will I learn everything? Because I still feel like I'm learning something.
I always thought that at some age that suddenly the veils would be drawn back and this great knowledge would, no.
Yeah. Stuff changes every semester, it seems like. So I'm learning something new every semester. So
thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and I want to have you back on before the fall to talk about what's going to be available in the fall.
That would be excellent. Sounds like a great plan.
We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first, while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
And we are here with a special guest today, Dr. Huebner, the president of Meridian Community College. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me back.
Well, yes, no problem. I appreciate you being here. We were just talking about vacations and our lack thereof,
exactly.
Just having places to go. But a lot has happened here at MCC this year. And I just thought I'd love to, I wanted to have you on for us to talk about it. Okay. First is, there's a lot of building going on.
Well, so, Yes. And the best way to say it is, we end up getting a variety of funding opportunities because of the pandemic and federal dollars coming in with COVID that had to be spent for certain kinds of building projects. So, for example, we were able to update some of our HVAC systems and are still in the process of updating some HVAC systems.
I was actually going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
But is it a date thing? You have to have this spent by a certain date? Because I noticed that 2 buildings
Yes.
at the same time
You're right.
seem to be where everyone's having to move.
Right, and it's not,
and
you're right.
My first thing is like, who planned this? But if you have to spend the money by this certain
Right,
date.
and so there's not an easy way to do that.
Right,
So
right.
the answer is twofold, and actually it's 3. So 3 buildings, but they're not all going offline. 2 of them are going to go offline, but we're bidding 3 projects at the same time, and the reason for that mainly is
Juggling.
Well, yeah, we like to juggle, and but no, the reason mainly is that it gives us an opportunity to get any kind of benefit from having everything thrown into one pool in terms of contractor pricing and equipment and all of that sort of thing. And so 2 of the projects are very similar, and those 2 projects are HVAC in Hardin Hall and HVAC in Smith Hall. Right. So that means we're having to move the people out of those buildings so we can.
And you're one of the people being moved.
And I'm one of those people being moved. So it's okay. I'm going into an office that used to be Daniel Etheridge's office, so there will be brilliance taking place in there just because the office, leftover brilliance from Daniel Etheridge and his area, and so I'll be in I call it the little corner office in his former classroom. So,
do we have any idea how long this is going to take?
These are magical questions.
They truly are.
The answer is there are a lot of unknowns still. So that project will go to bid sometime in July, as we've been in the process of working with engineers to make sure that the systems we get are the systems we need for those facilities. And right now, a lot of the contractors are busy, as you can imagine, because other entities receiving similar kinds of dollars are doing these projects. So you got to hit it at the right time. And of course, with supply side issues, supply chain issues, prices have gone up, and so that's all kind of a juggling act that we're working on. In addition, wrapped into that is we've had a desire for some time since I've been here to begin this process of making our bathrooms ADA accessible. We meet the minimum legal requirement, but I want us to do more than that.
Sure.
And so we have Reed Hall, for example. And so sometimes it's not nearly as simple as just slapping on some different doors and removing a toilet or 2. It requires, in some cases, significant reconfiguration of the space, and in some cases, all new space. And
right.
So, that's what we're doing in Reed Hall, and so that's going to be a pretty substantial piece of work taking place in there. And but it's the right thing to do.
I agree with you. I mean, I remember seeing the signs that said if you need there's one in
right.
like the
Web
building
all.
next door,
Yeah.
or
That's right.
And I agree with you. It's that's not acceptable.
Well, and in particular, that particular facility is where we house the department that works with students who have ADA-related issues. And so it seems like that would be a good building for us to have ADA accessible restrooms. So crazy thinking. So that's what we're in the process of doing that as well. And then we'll be doing the same thing in Hardin Hall as when we go through the renovations, with the new HVAC system. And so that again requires more than just making a few modifications. And so we've had to kind of re-envision parts of that building now in order for it to be ADA accessible. So again, that's a building we feel strongly about should be accessible. So,
sure.
So that's it's the sort of thing where you want to do this, and that's great. Well, then that means you also then have to do this, and sometimes have to do this. And so it's good, but it's stuff we have needed to do. The college is not going in any debt to do this. I mean, these are funds available for us to make these modifications. So it's something that I'm excited about doing. And in addition to the regular cycle of things in terms of dollars that we have.
Because there's a lot of upkeep with the number of buildings we have, and some of them are
That's right.
older, and you
That's
have to make sure that you keep them the way that they're supposed to
Well,
be kept.
one of the things that's been important to me is being able to update all of our spaces.
Yes.
So classroom space, the building we're in right now, the gentlemen working above us have generously agreed not to beat hammers for the few minutes we're on this interview, and so.
But we thank them for that.
That's right.
One is a former student of mine. So
Oh, is that right? Well, very
yes,
good.
I
Excellent.
particularly thank him
Good.
for that. Yes.
But the significant renovations and changes going on to this building, which is Todd, we're excited about, and it's just the conversion of the space from a library to a library plus. Our Student Success Center, which will also include an advising center. So our student advisors are moving from Ivy Skaggs Hall to this facility, and then we'll have labs and all the stuff that you know and love will be in this building, in addition to our library resources. And so it really is going to become a hub for all the things students need to be successful in terms of support systems for their college. So I'm very excited about it, and then we're also hoping to get the building painted, and so and then on the first floor where we are, we have received a very generous donation from the Hardin Foundation, and we have, as many know, one of the premier honors programs out of community colleges in Mississippi. That's been the Phil Hardin Honors College has been. They're just outstanding, and they provide all kinds of opportunities for students who desire, who are high achieving academic students who want to be engaged in a program like we have here, and so it's really wonderful. So that program is moving from the second floor of Montgomery to the first floor of Todd, and it's going to, we haven't revealed the drawings and the renderings yet, but it's going to be a dramatic and exciting renovation to the first floor of part of the first floor of this building, and a whole new entrance on the back that will create places for students to sit and interact.
That's going to be so nice.
And yes, and it's going to be great, and for our honor students. And so,
well, listen, we have to take a short break.
Oh,
and we'll
okay.
be right back. Okay, stay with us.
Not essential. Never let anyone tell you that again. Never doubt your abilities to make a difference. How do I know this about you? Because I'm a teacher. I am the one who will push you harder and farther than you could have ever imagined. Teach you things that you never thought possible. And if you will give me 100%, then I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and together we will change your future. MCC, find your wings.
And we are back. One thing I wanted to talk to you about,
Sure.
though, is have we finally put COVID in the rearview mirror? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. Of course, as I have for the last almost 2.5 years, I start each day by reading a report on where that is and how Mississippi is adapting, and what our numbers are in Mississippi. And of course, we're still collecting data from students and individual faculty staff who test positive. We haven't had a positive test, at least one that's been recorded on our in our system for a number of weeks. I think probably even a few months, which is good. But I'm not ready yet to say we're putting it in the rearview mirror. It seems like we might be moving to a different place with it, and I hope so. I know institutionally we're moving forward with life as it needs to be, and so and then of course we certainly have some faculty, staff, students who for personal safety reasons, decide they want to continue to wear masks, and there's nothing wrong with that, absolutely. And we always encourage people to exercise precaution with regards to hygiene and that sort of thing. So, I mean, you know, wash your hands after, you know, before you eat, and you know, and that sort of thing is kind of good practice. And I think I've been taught that since I was in, you know, before I went to school.
Yes.
So
you
right.
know, we really, it's just a matter of looking at the data and, you know, how can we keep our students and our staff and our faculty and staff as safe as possible. And that brings my next question. You know, there have been a number of posts on Facebook and all about violence in the area. You know, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about that some. And because I know how important safety is and how you've stressed safety, but I don't think our audience, you know, they might not know. And when you see something on Facebook, your first thing is to like, you know, is to immediately become, you know, hackles rise up and everything. And I tell my kids all the time, like, okay, first off, let's look at that for a minute. Right. And you don't see anything behind it, but I just wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about this a little bit.
And I don't think I can have any conversation about safety or personal safety or community safety without talking about the things happening in the world right now. I mean, the situation that happened outside San Antonio, I just absolutely I mean, I can't even fathom it. And what bothers me about it is, I don't think we're okay with it. That's not it. That's not it. But I think that we're, and this isn't a political commentary. This is just a personal commentary about you know, about taking care of each other and about caring for each other and about noticing the people who are appear to be struggling or appear to be moving directions, and then sometimes we're so divisive in our communication and interaction. People are seeking that mic drop moment when they want to say what they want to say, whatever. And so then you know, I don't pretend to be an expert on any of this at all. I just am an observer, and I think to myself is like, we're on this train that is headed a very and has been for a long time a tough direction. How do we get off that? How do we decide as a culture, as a community, as a country, how do we decide that we want to go a different direction? And what can each of us do that? And so our first instinct, and let me be really clear, pointing at somebody and saying, well, the reason we're like this is because of, and pointing to someone, whomever that is. A political party, a race, an age group, a personality type, or whatever, is not the solution. No. Yeah, but that's what we want to do. So we want to mobilize against fill in the blank, against a person or a group or a race or a party or whatever. And that's, you know, that's never helpful. That's never helpful. In our own community, we've clearly have experienced some difficult times with regards to some violence, and this is something we're thinking about reviewing on a daily basis. And so, for example, we are constantly reviewing our protocol here on campus. We are in regular contact with our campus police officers, or have you know, changed the way they patrol, for example, and their interaction with local authorities. We've purchased some equipment that give us more opportunities to identify potential issues on campus. We have are about to post a position related specifically to campus safety and planning, and to take advantage of all the tools. We're going to be upping our training with that regard, in that regard, for the whole campus. So, and then the other thing is just, you know, providing more opportunities and things for our students to do on campus here, so they don't leave campus, you know, and so and then engaging them differently, and having sometimes hard conversations and about that, and changing our protocol for you know, a number of things we do. One of the things we've tried to do in the last 4 years, and we've really improved this dramatically in the last year, is campus activities and engagement and things that our students can do here on campus. And so that brings with it this a different approach to even how we even talk about being on campus and campus safety. So as you know, as you referenced, I send messages to people, you know, sometimes you might get caught someplace you don't want to be, but folks need to be as cautious as they possibly can every day, no matter where they are. Here, there, you know, in some other city or town. That's just unfortunately we're living in tough times with that regard.
Yes.
As
so
we've
if a
seen.
parent is thinking about
Yeah.
bringing, you know, sending their children here, you know, the thing is, and I've said this to many people out in the community, you know, they are as safe as we can possibly make
No,
them.
that's
they
right.
are safe as they would be anywhere else.
Right.
Within the circumstances that we find
No,
ourselves
that's
living in
right.
today.
And I tell people this: I live on campus, and happily live on campus. We have our police department. We have more cameras than you can fathom, and our police department keeps a good eye on things, and they're very accessible. In addition to the other safety protocol and features that we've enabled over the last few months, we have and then we're required by law to report crime statistics, which you know, that's accessible and people can see them. They're on our website, and so it's something that I can say that we are as safe as we possibly can be, and so I don't ever feel unsafe on campus, and that doesn't mean that they're, you know, that you know, we've heard of certain government officials saying, oh, we're safe, and whatever. You know, we all have to be cautious. We all have to make good decisions about where we go and what we do, and the institution has to do everything it can do to provide opportunities to keep our faculty, staff, and students safe, and we have a good track record of that at this point.
I think we do.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to thank you for being here. As always, it's never enough time. It always goes by so fast.
It does.
But I want to have you on again as soon as we can.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
On behalf of executive producer Matt Milner and media specialist Josh Taylor, thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit, and we'll see you next week.